What do you do when you have a runaway horse? Do you do the one rein stop? What is a runaway horse for you? Is it a flat out gallop and you absolutely have no control? Or is it maybe you're out in your indoor riding arena and it's the first time you've ever done that and your horse has a great idea to go back to the herds? My name is Chris Adderson. I'm the founder of For the Horse Harmony program. This is my interpretation of the one rein stop from many years in natural horsemanship, teaching natural horsemanship, learning it, studying it, starting young horses, rehabilitating young horses, and also delving into classical dressage in a major way. So I want to give you options and give you a way to look at this one rein stop, and then you can decide for yourself. So let's go into the options now. When I was taught the one rein stop, I was taught it many years ago, and it was to be used as an emergency on a runaway horse, and it was so that the rider could take away power from the horse's hindquarters by disengaging them. That's part of the one rein stop. And then come to a halt and do an emergency dismount. That was the whole procedure I was originally taught. And so I was taught to practice that. I was taught to go through the motions, practice it in a controlled situation, and get the steps down pat. Now, this sounds good on the surface, doesn't it? There is so much that can go wrong with this procedure, and I want to go over those things for you. I've seen this as I taught clinics around the world. For example, a gaited horse who has done too much of this one rein stop practice becomes totally disunited and and I've seen gaited horses be seriously injured by this practice. If you have a horse perhaps that's hypermobile, it can seriously injure a horse. There are many horses that this does not suit. A horse can still run, and I've seen it, I've experienced it. A horse can still run with its head and neck bent around to the side. It can still take all four legs and gallop in a straight line, isolating the head and neck to the side. If you're consistently insisting on bending that head and neck, you can actually throw the horse off balance onto the shoulder. The horse can trip, can fall. What kind of footing do you have? So these are things to consider that are really important. What can you do instead? Prepare and become a really solid rider. Learn to recognize when this is coming and work all the time building your partnership behind the scenes. You can turn it into a bend to a stop rather than the one rein stop, right? In other words, meaning turning and spiraling into a stop. But what happens if you don't have the space for this bend to a stop, perhaps? What happens if you are both super scared, your horse and yourself? What happens if you have so many emotions on high that there's no way you could get this together? Because this happens, doesn't it? So this mythical understanding that, oh yeah, do lots of preparation, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's a good thing to do lots of preparation, but preparation in a certain way. Number one, experience versus theory of experiential learning. How do we have experiential learning? We don't practice the one rein stop. We practice galloping. We practice in a very safe place, safe surroundings, good footing, slightly uphill, on a trail perhaps, a long duration, slightly uphill, with a mentor that you trust, another horse, another friend, a mentor with you. That's how you practice. You experience what is it like to actually gallop on a horse going fast in a straight line for a while, so you can experience it. Okay, I'm all right, I'm gonna live, it's gonna be okay, the horse is watching their feet, right? You can go through all of the processes by experiencing actually what's happening. If you fear you can potentially have a runaway horse, which it's possible for anybody and everybody, right? I mean, some dressage riders have never ever galloped on a horse. How is that preparing yourself? And this is how you need to plan ahead. This is the preparation that you need to do by experiencing the gallop in a controlled environment with a trusted friend or mentor. This will build your confidence and your horse's confidence too, because you're both going for a gallop. And the horse will gallop for a while, yes, get excited and gallop for a while, but it's not going to last forever. Natural horsemanship has its roots in classical dressage. And this is important to know, and a lot of people don't explain this. So what parts of the one rein stop actually come from classical dressage? And what parts are the intended context from French classical dressage? So what was meant originally to be a lateral flexion leading to softening with the lowering of the head and neck, and a softening of the body and a bend throughout the body and a balancing that's happening, that has been morphed into bend the head and neck around, or yank the head and neck around, scoot the hindquarters over, and take away the horse's power. Those are two different things. They may have had the same origin, but they're two different intentions. And I've ridden with classical instructors who have actually referred to it as breaking the neck. And that's an apt description, because that's what you're basically doing, is you're breaking the neck. The horse can still run forward, but you're breaking at the neck. So if this one rein stop, or the idea, or the perception, or the implementation of the one rein stop is taught to you and is understood by you as a means to get communication back between the two of you, and to reassure the horse along the way, and to balance the horse at the same time, then it's a good strategy. But as I see it being taught, a lot of the places, it's not a good strategy, can be dangerous. So learn how to gallop on your horse, learn how to hold on, learn how to be in a powerful place on your horse, which is my next point, is that have a process to find security in the saddle. And this is what we teach again in our program as well for our riders, that you can tap into instantly and practice galloping with your process of finding security in the saddle. So you can gallop and you can be autonomous up there. You can be powerful and you can be not braced. So keep your safety around all of this, but this is what to practice rather than breaking the neck. I will see you next time.